We're back for the spoiler discussion for Avengers Infinity War. And so yeah, there's the ending, which I'm sure is fresh in all of our minds, where half of everyone gets wiped out, Thanos wins, end of movie. It's interesting. I think it's a kind of a coup that they pulled off on the fans by not calling this part one, making us think that this was a complete story, because it's really not.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why I'm a little
It's one of the most sequel bait endings in history.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was everything I wanted. You hardly ever see the bad guy come out on top.
Yeah.
Sure.
And this was everything.
Well, and he wins a lot in this movie. He's pretty much on top for the majority of this. There's the one fight that they have that's among themselves that's just there for humor. And, you know, they kind of knock him back a little bit once in a while, but other than that, he's pretty much winning. My biggest gripe with the movie and the story is it seemed like they came up with this idea of, we'll take two characters that are really committed and important to one another, and we'll ask them to sacrifice, or have them ask the other to be sacrificed to stop Thanos.
Like Gamora.
Because it happens like 4 times.
Right. 4?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
Star-Lord and Gamora, she asked him to do it.
And then Vision has to be killed as well.
yeah. There was... it's just... There was a whole bunch of, like...
Wasn't the Wakanda? If they had to be sacrificed their country, they wanted to do it together.
I mean, it felt like it was just kind of those sorts of scenes over and over again. It was nice that they split up the Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't expect that. It was kind of fun to watch them on different teams and doing different things.
Especially with Raccoon and Thor. I like
Bunny,
that.
rabbit. The interesting thing, the thing I can't get out of my mind right now is Ant-Man and Wasp. How is it going to reflect this new timeline? Like, you think Ant-Man?
It might take place like in time. I think time wise, Ant-Man is behind anyway. Like, Ant-Man wasn't in the same time frame.
All they have to do
when
is
it came
flash
out.
something on the screen to say it was like maybe a year ago or something.
Yeah.
That's true.
I feel like a lot of the fight scenes lasted a really, really long time.
The whole
There was a
movie
lot of fight scenes. Yeah.
Like, and I get that, but I feel like they just lasted a long time. They just wanted to see how long they could go
Yeah.
with a lot of the fight scenes, and so it's just like, this is really interesting.
Was
Okay,
anybody...
now we're in fight scene number 12. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of got a little tedious, and I kind of like, in the middle of the 2 hours, I was just like, oh gosh, this is really long.
Yeah.
The bad guy keeps winning. They're gonna have to fix this. Like, there's not any part where they were able to get ahead of him in anything, really.
There was that moment where they were pulling the glove off, and then what's his name?
Star-Lord.
Yeah, I
Star-Lord.
thought, oh, what a dick.
Yeah,
like
I
that
was
when
like-
they were so close.
That was their trap, because that's when Thanos shows up and you only see Doctor Strange, but then, like, Star-Lord's behind a rock and Spider-Man's behind a rock, and they get the jump on him, and...
I thought it was cool to see so much of Doctor Strange doing all that, like, reality, combat-y kind of stuff. For me, that was, like, pretty interesting.
And it's his first time in an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man's as well. And Black Panther's, obviously.
Yeah, that was all pretty cool.
And I mean, that's the other thing with the Avengers movies is that, you know, with the fight scene stuff, especially if they're going to end it on a cliffhanger, it can't be there were 2 fights and then that's it.
I get it.
And
It's just,
because they have so many characters to juggle, it's like they got to show them all off. They got to all have an awesome moment. They have to all have a moment where they're, you know, bested in some way that you didn't expect or whatever, and that's where a lot of the clapping and applauding came in.
Was anybody else shocked at how much screen time Thanos dominated?
Right? Yeah.
Like, he was on screen quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they've been teasing him since, like, what, 5-6 years ago?
Right.
Yeah.
He was at the end of the first Avengers movie, right?
Sitting on that
Wasn't
chair
that
in
the first
space
time
or whatever.
they showed him? Or was that the end of Guardians of the Galaxy?
It was like an after credits thing.
He might have shown up at like.
It was way back.
All of them
No, it
that
was-
I've
it was
seen, they just
before.
run
Yeah.
together.
It was before the first Avengers because he sends Loki, and that is the first Avengers.
He was like the end of Thor or something
Ye-
like that. It
yeah.
was a screenshot. But yeah, I was just like they had so many characters, and the ones you think are going to dominate the screen are hardly in it.
I don't think that's true. I think that they give a good balance to all of them, and so it seems like the ones that you care about have less time.
I think it's because the ones that you care about are in the beginning of the movie. Because, I mean,
like
like,
who?
like Doctor Strange,
Iron Man.
Iron Man, Spider-Man, the Guardian crew, Loki, all of those, and then, like, towards the end, until they get to, like, Wakanda and a little bit right before then, that's when, like, Captain America kind of shows up. But it's really quick, and then they have their screen time, a majority of their screen time.
Yeah, I mean, it's balanced in that it's not like simultaneous or at at exactly the same scene over scene. But I mean, I would say Doctor Strange is in this movie as much as Tony Stark is in the movie, as much as Spider-Man's in the movie, as much as any of them are. I felt like we spent lots of time with Vision and Scarlet Witch, and like I think everybody got a fairly good chunk of time and something to do. The only character that felt like a complete puppet to me was Black Widow.
Yeah, Black Widow, and then the other guy. I'm sorry, guys.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, the Winter Soldier. He was kind of like, boop, and then gone.
Based on
And
the,
then
That's-
Captain
yeah.
America was kind of not as much. He had plenty of time, but it was just later.
Yeah,
like-
Captain America really wasn't on screen all that much.
yeah, they didn't have him as much. That is true.
One of the best scenes of the movie was his first appearance. It was well set up during that
Cheadle's
fight scene.
character as well.
Don't you know it's her?
No, but I'm saying his character wasn't that much.
He's never that much.
No.
That's like him and
he's a
Falcon
side
are like
character.
never given much time, because they're sort of like those guys are sort of side characters to like War Machine's a side character to Iron Man, and so that's why those guys aren't quite as. It'd be like if Pepper Potts was in like 20 minutes of the movie for no reason. Gwyneth Paltrow's character.
Got it.
Like Iron Man 3.
Yeah. Like if she was in a whole bunch of the movie for some reason. It's like, she can't fight them. She's just a woman. A regular woman with no spacesuit.
Hashtag me too.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Where's her Iron Man suit?
Peter Dinklage is the biggest man in the movie.
As the dwarf.
That was perfect.
Yeah. That was good. I mean, there are some really great sequences in this, and I'm sure that, there's going to be plenty of comparisons made to The Empire Strikes Back, as this being a dark entry in the series. I don't know that that's going to necessarily hurt it at the box office or not, as far as people coming back and watching it again. I think people will come back and watch it again to catch references and things they missed. But what it will do is really pump up the anticipation for
the next one.
the next Marvel movies in general, because not all the action happens in Avengers. So
I feel like if you're watching a series, like, I'd want to skip over this one, but I know that I couldn't because it sets up an important story.
This is one that I would say if I were like binging through them and I had like the movies for the next 5 years or whatever already, this would be one that I would watch as a part one, and then whatever it is that's the part two, which
Yeah.
maybe that's Captain Marvel, maybe that's a yet undisclosed Avengers movie that's coming out. You know, it's hard to say.
Yeah, this one, you couldn't watch this series and not watch this one. It's too pivotal.
Right. It's like Kill Bill Part 1. Like, it really, honestly, it feels like a Part 1 movie. I think they specifically went and did away with the naming convention so that they could trick people into thinking that this was going to be more climactic than it was.
Yeah.
Not to trick them, not just to surprise people about the ending, I think. Because if this was called Part 1, of course it ends with everything in Bad Town, like,
Yeah.
so. What can you say? It's another Avengers movie. That's it. If you like the way we do these, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written video reviews at dalemaxfield.com, and thanks for watching.